Ukashnia words said in my head. Oh, I'm trying to rhyme again. Take his pipe away, kid. Like crazy, bro. Like someone comes over here and like takes my pipe. There, we don't like you to do that. No. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, it's a recurrent thought and memory. Even like with being in New York, and it was actually like during when there was snow on the ground, and I was thinking about snow, not rain. I was like, hey, what about rain too? See, I'm being like silly little goofball jokester, LOL person. No, I'm joking around, but with rain as well, obviously, trees, any kind of plants, they absorb, especially trees, they absorb a lot of water. And there's a lot of asphalt, concrete. We have all these roofs, drainage. It drains to the sewer, raises the water elevation level. I mean, the Texas flood came to mind, and I just I mean, there's a lot of hatred, bigotry in the world, and I mean, the world, the Earth that we live in is a chaotic, destructive planet, especially with the climate. Whether you say is climate change, no climate change, look at the statistics. Not just earthquakes, floods. I mean, rising sea levels. It's a problem. It's a problem. So that would definitely take away from that. Also, all the water that's draining, and I'd say people throw stuff on the ground like plastics, paper, anything, polluting. It ends up in sewer drainage, ends up in the rivers and oceans, even in rivers and lakes. Actually, you know obviously the solution is have people not throw anything on the ground. Even the fact that I'm going too far, it's called zero to waste, I believe. The philosophy behind it. There's a book on it and everything. There's a book on everything. I briefly touched on it, but it's a logical thing. We shouldn't have plastics, paper, styrofoam even. I mean, I get it. You have paper, and the paper I have I reuse as far as like putting some soil. I try not to throw it into the garbage, but it's overabundance of it. Glass, metal, especially glass, any kind of drinking beverage we could have in glass, and it could be reused. Steam, wash, and it could be reused. There was a thing called rebate actually, back there is rebate here in New York actually, 5 cents I believe. Connecticut is much more. It's like 10 cents, but cans and bottles. So it is a thing for that. And it's actually recycle or reusable. You know, and yeah, that's one premise. I mean, one's premise to get things started for a healthier society, and it could generate revenue, and be much more better for the economy. I believe. I believe so. But I don't know the numbers, how much people pay with it, this and the other thing. I didn't even think about all that. I didn't even put my mind to do all that research. But from a logical perspective, if it makes logic and long term, it definitely will be cost effective, and it'll be better for the economy. You know, the natural way is the best way. It doesn't pollute and doesn't destroy planet Earth to begin with. But yeah, all that stuff ends up on the ground, and people throw stuff on the ground. And yeah, I mean, if there was water, it still would have been, but it would be less of a problem as well. There's ways to go around, even like sewers. I saw something here in Virginia. I don't know if New Jersey has it, but they put I think it's hay or some kind of material. It's on a nylon or plastic, like a rectangular shape, and they put it around the sewer. A lot of times it protects against leaves or anything like that, or any kind of pollutant. You could have like a net actually, or double nets, to catch anything. And the water, I would say, if it ends up like that, which here in Virginia, it's like no water from rain. There's a term to call it, like no holding water after the rain in any kind of container. It's illegal based on I guess you holding water. It creates mosquitoes or this and the other thing. It could turn to mold if you don't use it. But the whole premise is not just individuals like singular individuals like residents or citizens. United States government, as far as nat federal, state, and city, county even should get together on this. I mean, there's so much water from rain coming down, and obviously you can say, well, it's polluted. This it could be cleaned up. It's a natural resource. We have droughts in this country, and and I know someone could argue because people already figured out the individuals that run this country, they don't want anything like that. People understood it from a long time ago, but just something that is on my mind. And a lot of times I don't even think about it anymore. I try not to think of it because what's the point? I'm not gonna get a container. I mean, I could, but it's like probably get a ticket over here. I probably would. And even if not, I mean, yeah, it just it takes a lot of energy. And from my perspective, I'm going through something. I I could barely carve a walking stick a day. I'm getting mentally abused, bombarded. And I'm not getting into that because it happens like too much, and I already talked about it, this and the other thing. But just these are things I think about. You know, I'm the person that actually wants resolution, and it's actually kind of pretty cool to actually get snow, even let's say melt or rainwater, and use so much water, and then it will be so much for the environment, and yeah, it will be a workforce and industry to do that as well. I mean, imagine how many. I could go over here and actually, I'm in a resort area in Virginia Beach. I'm not giving my address, don't you find me? But anywhere, plants, they'll be so much healthier, so much healthier. Create fresher air, or just be, the simple thing. Why don't we do that? You know, and yeah, it's just individuals. Let's say, not that they don't care, they're purposely just they're negligent towards it, and they're negligent towards themselves and their lives and the whole planet Earth and others that aren't even in their community. It's very reckless and careless. And I'd say on behalf of the United States government, and not just United States government, a lot of governments and nations, very responsible. It doesn't take, billionaires. Like, I'm not putting billionaires or millionaires over here. Like, they will just solve everything. Why should they? I mean, it's great. They speak of their cause, or they donate money, or they have organizations. Or I know people get arrested because they fight for it. I get it. I understand where they come from. I would take a arrest charge for like this and the other thing. I don't care. Put me to jail. I'll go through the process day, 2 days. Ooh, I hope they're not true. No, I'm joking. But that's a worthy cause, actually, standing up for something right. But it's like there's a reason why people protest, and it's like nothing gets done. It's all these government nations should get together and actually do something logical, actually. And there's no reason we should have fires in like California. There's fires in Canada right now. It was like hazy. I was like, no, it can't be. It's a fire. It's coming down from Canada, and it's a drought. It could be figured out. I already talked about California. Those fires shouldn't happen. Natural disasters shouldn't happen, actually. You know, CO2 emissions or not CO2 emissions. We could do a better job, and it'll be so much healthier. And plants, and even if you clean up water, I mean, you could actually create industry where, like, well, it will take away, like, plastic bottle industry. But I'm pretty sure they could get in on that with the government or private companies too. I don't know where they like go to lakes or who knows where other bodies of water and purify the water. Why not purify that water? It's a natural resource that is being wasted, actually. So it's like untapped or untapped resource, and it's actually causing harm.